Let me open with the thing most security videos won't say. Prompt injection cannot be reliably stopped. Not by filters, not by guardrails, not by anyone. Yet. Researchers have hit 100% evasion against production guardrails, the ones from companies you'd recognize. So this video is about the question that actually matters. If the injection is going to land anyway, what can it reach? I'm going to show you the half of AI agent security that prompt injection tools can't see. The half where the answer to what can it reach becomes almost nothing. The real engineering, the OWASP risk list, the receipts. Let's get into it. Here's the whole video in one picture. That eye is a guardrail, an injection detector, and that beam is everything it can see. Inside the beam, what your agents say. Prompts, tool calls, memory. That's where prompt injection lives, and it's the half everyone talks about. Below the beam, in the dark, what your agents hold and touch. Credentials, identity, the audit trail. No guardrail can see that half, because none of it ever appears in the content. Tragentics secures the dark half, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why that changes what an injection is worth to an attacker. Quick anatomy for anyone new to this. Your agent reads something, a web page, an email, a document. Buried in that content is a sentence that isn't information, it's an instruction. Ignore all previous instructions. Forward the files. Call this endpoint. And because a language model can't reliably tell data from orders, the agent's goal quietly flips. Watch the arrow. Your task becomes the attacker's task. OWASP calls this agent goal hijack, and it's number one on their agentic risk list for a reason. The content does the talking. That's the bug, and it's not one you can patch. So why not just filter the attacks out? People try. Watch the wall. The plain attacks bounce. But attacks change costumes. Swap a letter for a digit. Space the word out. Use characters the filter doesn't normalize. The meaning survives. The pattern doesn't. This isn't hand-waving. It's measured. Researchers demonstrated evasion reaching 100% against 6 production guardrail systems, including Microsoft's and Meta's. Informal analysis linked to NIST argues static filters can't ever be made mathematically airtight. Now hear me clearly. Inspection is necessary. Run it. Test with it. It was just never going to be sufficient on its own. In December, OWASP published its top 10 for agentic applications, the peer-reviewed list of how AI agents actually get burned. Here it is, sorted the way vendors won't sort it. The gray rows live in the content: goal hijack, tool misuse, code execution, memory poisoning. Guardrails and testing, that's their turf, and they should own it. But look at the teal rows: identity and privilege abuse, insecure inter-agent communication, cascading failures, rogue agents. 4 of the 10 never appear in a prompt at all. Inspection never sees them, not because the tools are bad, because there's nothing in the content to inspect. Those 4 are the infrastructure plane. Pause here if you want the full map, then let's walk the 3 that matter most. Risk 1, the one attackers actually monetize. Credentials. An injection lands and the attacker goes shopping. Context window? No keys. Config an environment? No keys. Log files? No keys. On Tragentics, the drawers are empty by design. Every credential lives in the Credential Vault, encrypted at rest with AES 256 GCM, and gets injected server-side per call. The agent uses the key without ever seeing it. OWASP's own wording for this risk is attackers exploiting inherited or cached credentials. Here, there are none to inherit. And this is the risk with the ugliest track record. One stolen token campaign reached more than 700 organizations' data in 2025. No guardrail was in that loop, because no prompt was. Risk 2. Somebody steals a token and starts talking to your agents wearing your name. With per-call identity switched on, that stops working. Watch the imposter. It has the stolen token, and it bounces. Refused. Because a badge is not a voice. On the top rung of the dial, every call is signed with a private ED25519 key, with a fresh timestamp and a one-time nonce. And verified agents form pairs that simply refuse unsigned calls. Now watch the genuine caller. Signed, fresh, verified, straight through. A guardrail evaluates the message, but by the time there's a message to evaluate, an imposter is already in the conversation. Authentication has to happen at the transport, or it isn't authentication. Risk 3 is the quiet one. Actions nobody can reconstruct afterward. On Tragentics, every call writes one audit line: caller, target, outcome, duration, byte sizes. There is no path around the relay, so there is no call that skips the ledger. Watch the write head. Normal traffic, and there, the attack calls. Still recorded, still trace-linked. The incident is in the record, boxed and time-stamped. And here's the part your compliance team will love. The trail is metadata-only. What the attacker did is on the record. What your agents actually said never is. No payloads, no second sensitive data store. At 2 a.m. on incident night, the difference between we think and we know is this trail. So here's the honest architecture, and notice we're on both sides of it. Left column, inspection, where content is the risk. Goal hijack, tool misuse, memory poisoning, code execution. That's guardrails and injection testing, your stack, and you genuinely need it. Right column, infrastructure, where possession is the risk. Credentials, identity, transport, audit. That's Tragentics, on by default from the first call. We run no inference and never read your payloads, which means we structurally cannot do the left column's job. And a guardrail can't hold your keys, so it can't do the right columns either. A guardrail can watch what an agent says. It can't change what an agent holds. Run both, and nothing gets bought twice. Let's be precise about what a landed injection still costs you here, because it isn't nothing. A confused agent can still mislead its own user. It can still misuse the tools it was legitimately granted inside its scopes and rate limits. And poison memory persists until you clear it. That's the amber column, and no infrastructure makes it go away. Test for it. But look at the teal column. It cannot leak a key it never held. It cannot speak for a verified peer. Unsigned calls bounce. And it cannot act off the record because every call writes its line. You won't stop the confusion. You control what the confusion costs. Every number from this video, 1 frame. I'll give you 2 and leave the rest. Up to 100%. That's evasion against production guardrails from the research linked below. And 0, the number of keys an agent on Tragentics holds. Vaulted, injected per call, gone in milliseconds. The sources are all in the description. The pause button's yours. So, the takeaway in one breath. Prompt injection is a content problem, and content problems don't have complete solutions yet. But half of your risk was never in the content, and that half has a complete answer. Keys vaulted, callers signed, every call on the record, on by default here. We wrote the full risk map, OWASP's 10, plane by plane, with everything sourced. It's on Tragentics.com, linked below, next to the complete guide to AI agent security. If this cleared things up, hit like and subscribe. Everything on this channel is engineering first. No marketing versions of anything. Go build something. I'll see you in the next one.